Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and recording this on my new phone, and I've realised that as good as the camera is, the front facing camera, when I'm just using the standard camera, I'm not using any sort of apps, it just focuses on my face, so the lighting fluctuates, which is a little bit jarring, but I thought I'd give it a go. This is just without tweaking any settings. We'll see how it turns out. Anyway, so today we're delving back into the Mikkeller Beer Club box, and this one is from September 2018, and we're going over to Mikkeller, New York. Well, more specifically, Mikkeller Brewing, New York City, Chittyfield, Flushing, New York. And we're looking at a can of the SkyFood with absolutely sensational artwork. I believe that's from Keith Shaw. I'm not too sure though. I don't know if that's designed by someone else, because it does look a little bit different, but at the same time it's got the look of Keith Shaw's artwork. But yeah, definitely stands out, and I absolutely love the typography on this. But yeah, so this is the SkyFood, which is absolutely, it sounds absolutely bonkers. The light seems to be quite stabilised now, so ignore all that stuff I said at the start. I think it's when I'm actually before I'm recording. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Hopefully you can actually hear me, which was a problem that I had when I was recording videos on this shitty iPhone. But yeah, anyway, so it's a new era of professionalism from the, there we go, the lighting's fluctuated. It's a new era of professionalism from the Clueless Drinker, and I'm sure as I get more used to the camera, why am I talking about the camera a lot in this video? I have no idea, but I'm sure once I've got used to it, maybe once I'm actually able to film with the other actual proper camera, which is really nice, by the way. I might be able to actually get something recorded properly. Who knows? We shall see. Anyway, back to the bonkers beer. And yeah, SkyFood, which is an IPA brewed with Szechuan peppercorns, ginger, young coconut, orange zest, honey, jasmine flowers, lychee, aloe, and durian. So yeah, quite the selection. And this was best before is actually, was that canned on? Sorry, August the 1st, 2018. So it's about barely coming up to 2 months old as I'm recording this, and I have actually had it for a little while, so I'm not really drinking it really fresh. But hopefully that doesn't affect the beer too much. Yes, SkyFood 57. So I'm not sure what the 57 is in relation to. Could it be batch 57? I don't know, because Mikkeller, New York are quite young from what I can remember. I don't know. What do I know? I'm the clueless drinker. The clue is in the title. There we go. Nice little pun that I will never use again because it's horrific. But yeah, no ABV on this can. So I think New York must be one of those places where, well, as my good friend Paul from PA Brew News would say, if it's got no ABV, you can drink as much as you want because it's obviously got no alcohol in it. So, of course, it's in the description box anyway. Should have done some research beforehand, but I didn't. Oh well. So, yeah, I think this is the first time I've had something from Mikkeller, New York, so I'm really quite excited. And yeah, speaking of Mikkeller, if you've been interested by any of the Mikkeller reviews that I've done, they have primarily come from either the Beer Club box or the Beer Mailbox. So I'll put my referral link down below, as well as my Mikkeller playlist. So if you're interested, click that link, get yourself a little discount on your own box, and it helps me out too. So I do appreciate that for those who have clicked on that link. But yeah, so without any further ado, let's get this beer open and see. Oh, little bit of eruption. Never hurt anyone. And I'll be using my Mikkeller Beer Club glass, which is a little bit dirty because it's had like a stout that was like remnants of a stout for like a week in there, because I'm very lazy when it comes to cleaning my glassware, to the point where I think you can actually still see a tiny bit of dirt in there. But yeah, it's not the cleanest, but I love this glass. So anyway, let's pour the beer and see what we get. And that's pouring nicely. And shock horror, is that a somewhat clear beer? No way. It's not just like a hazy cloud of yellow, which is a nice refreshing change, it has to be said. But yeah, it looks really nice and illuminated on camera. It's not as bright as that in person, but yeah, it's got a sort of like a, there we go, that's actually a bit more of a what's the word? I love this front facing camera, by the way. The screen's massive on this UI Pro 2, but yeah, that's more of a realistic, yeah. Whoa, Jesus, look at that. How amazing is that? That is awesome. No, it's not. It's basic science, Peter. But yeah, so lovely amber colour to it. Little bits and bobs, I think, floating around. Or is that just the carbonation or just the dirtiness of the glass? I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's got that sort of like lemon cough syrup sort of look to it as well. But it looks really nice. And the beer poured with about 1 finger's worth of a white head with maybe a slight tinge to it. But yeah, certainly looks good. So let's see what we get on the nose. Well, you are getting that, you know, that IPA vibe. You know, you're getting that hoppiness, lovely American hops. Also, maybe a little bit of a touch of like a New Zealand sort of hops with the slight funky fruitiness. There's a muskiness coming out of this one. I am getting the peppercorns, getting the lychee. I'm not really getting too much of that. What was I going to say? Finish your sentences, Peter. Not getting too much of that sort of like young coconut aroma. I'd imagine a lot of this stuff translates more in the flavour as opposed to the aroma, and vice versa. Yeah, it's got like these lovely funky edges to it. Little intriguing twists and turns, but it is a very familiar smelling IPA. But yeah, it's definitely got that sort of like tropical, not like tropical fruit vibe, but like sort of like exotic, something a bit new sort of tropicalness about it. But yeah, it smells really interesting actually, so let's give it a taste. Cheers. I do pick up a little bit of that coconut in there. It's not like that typical, like, so Joe, if you're watching this, you might be a little bit disappointed. Not sort of like that flaked, sort of like roasted coconut flavour you sometimes get in like darker beers, but it's definitely got that sort of like green earthiness from some of the additions in there. You pick up a little bit of a heat from the peppercorns, but nothing too insane. You wouldn't really expect that. It's definitely a little bit of a funky sweetness going on with this. It's a weird one. There are parts of this that, unless you read what was in there, you wouldn't really be able to put your finger on. And even though I'm aware of what is in there, I mean, I'm not really getting too much of the ginger. Maybe a bit of like a heat from a candied ginger, or what's the style of ginger that you get in a jar, which has got a bit of a heat to it. It's got that sort of characteristic. Young coconut, again, not really getting too much. Orange zest, it's citrusy, as most IPAs are, and that's probably just enhanced There was a bit of a sweetness, which could be coming from the honey. Not really getting too much of the jasmine flower, or I might be, but I've never really had jasmine before, so... Durian, I don't think I've even had durian before, so I'm probably picking up some indescribable things that I can't put a name to. But I'm not going to like bullshit, go for each ingredient and like figure, well, I pick up, you know, I'm not going to be like that. Yeah, it's an intriguing for sure. I probably did set this up to be a bit more exciting and unique than it would end up being, because you've got all this stuff going on. But that being said, it's not like it's a confused mess of a beer with too much going on. It's interesting, it's intriguing for sure, with its like little twists and turns, just like the aroma. But it's nothing really outlandish. It's blended really nicely. And I think if you're a person who's managed to eat or consume all of the adjuncts in the beer, then would they be classed as adjuncts? I think they are. Then you might be able to give a more rounded opinion than I do. But it's definitely not just like a gimmicky IPA. There's something more to it than that. Is it completely my thing? Not really. There's stuff in there that doesn't really sit right with me. There's a little bit too much of a bitter earthiness in there for me. I like the slight subtle heat. I think that works really well within the confines of an IPA. It's almost got like a slight Mexican food aroma, like vibe going on, with a little bit of like a chili heat almost, with that combination of the peppercorns and ginger. A little bit of like an earthy bell pepper vibe going on. And then of course you've got the like lovely wonderful additions of aloe, lychee and durian. Not really getting too much of the flavour of lychee in there. But yeah, I don't really know what I think of this. I'm definitely enjoying it. It's almost like every sip you take, and when the beer hits the palate in different places, you're naturally going to get, you know, different sort of sensations and flavours in general. But there's something going on in every sip, and it's working. I mean, is it the best IPA that I've ever had? No, not really. I do applaud it for being different and not basically devolving into a mess. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what the ABV of this beer is. I just really can't. I'm guessing it's in like the 7% part. Ballpark? 7% part? That doesn't make sense. There is a little bit of like a soapiness going on as well. A little bit of like a slight funky, almost Parmesan cheese as well. I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird beer, but it works for the most part. It's definitely intriguing, and I applaud Mikkeller New York for that. Am I getting the full effect? Probably not. There would be people with much better palates, aka anyone else who would drink this beer than mine, who would be able to pick out flavours that I'm just not even at that level of conscientiousness. Do you know what I mean? I know that's not the proper word, but it certainly looks nice. It's something a little bit different. Doesn't fall too much in the gimmicky side, but at the same time doesn't go too far into like being an outrageous mess of a beer. And yeah, it's a really interesting beer. So in terms of a rating then, I think I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. And as I said that, I got a really satisfying ginger heat on the back end once that beer's... In fact, it's almost giving me like a tingle down my back now. Yeah, it's got that stem ginger vibe going on, which is really nice, mixing nice with that peppercorn. So I'm going to give it... That's actually bumped that up to an 8 out of 10. definitely get that sort of like medicinal aloe sort of character. Yeah, this is one of those beers, man, where your impressions of beer can change with how much has gone in the can. Because now that we've got a bit more of like the whole can in now, where there's like subtle like sediment is in there, because there are little bits and bobs, but not too much. You are getting a little bit more of a different sensation, if that's the correct term. So actually, I think 8's a bit too high. I think that's overselling it. Realistically, this is a 7.5 out of 10. It's above that. I would try that beer again. I'd love to try another batch of this. Maybe try it a little bit fresher. Like, I'm talking like as fresh as possible, because I think some of the flavours may have subsided slightly. So it does work against the beer in that regard. So 7.5 out of 10. 7. Let's keep it at that. Let's end this video because it's about time we finished. So if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. If you've tried anything else from Mikkeller, New York, recommendations always welcome. And yeah, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed it, their links down below. Check out Mikkeller, check out Mikkeller New York, check out my Mikkeller playlist, and hopefully next time you will join me. Well, hopefully you'll join me next time for another beer review. Can't even speak because I'm looking so beautiful on a big screen on my new phone. I jest. Interesting. Very interesting. Cheers, guys. And let me know what you think of the video quality on this one. I can see already that it was probably a little bit too bright. And especially with this complexion, it's like Casper the Friendly Ghost made a video review of a beer. Anyway, that's nearly 18 minutes. Thank you for watching, and thank you for having the sanity to sit through my mess of a video. See, I can't even like put proper sentences together now. Bye-bye.